Welcome everybody, Mr. Vosters here with another OnShape tutorial. Today we're going to be teaching you about some new techniques in OnShape, mainly the revolve tool, but we'll also see some more practice with the extrude tool and with our sketching techniques. So just to stay organized, we're going to start off in our IED folder. We're still in 1.2, and then we're going to create a new sketch. So I've already went through and created this. I'm going to delete this one just so it doesn't confuse us, so we don't have two 1.25s. And then within your 1.2 folder, you're going to want to create a document. We'll title this one 1.2.5 Extrusions, and we'll just leave it at that. So click Create. OnShape is going to boot up with your new design document. And from here, what we're going to create first is a cylinder. So just looking at this drawing, we can see we've got a cylinder that's 2.25 inches tall and with a diameter of 1 inch. So instead of doing what we did before to create this cylinder, where we did a circular sketch and then extruded it vertically, we're going to use the revolve tool. So that's going to be a totally new technique to most of you. And it's going to require a little bit different strategy. So first things first, we need to pick which plane we're going to do our sketch on. So as opposed to before where we did it on our top view, looking down and we made like a circle, here we're going to actually use our front view. So this is already quite a bit different from before. So I'll click up here, sketch. We're going to do that on our front view. I'll go ahead and hide the front view now. Turn our view cube towards the front view. And then from here, let's jump back to our dimensions. We're going to draw a rectangle that's 2.25 tall and 0.5 wide. So it's only going to be half of our diameter, and you'll see why in just a second. So we're going to do a corner rectangle from the origin. We want it to be 2.25 tall and 0.5 wide. So I need to find my dimensioning. We're going to dimension this to be 0.5, and the height is going to be 2.25. Let's just double check that. Yep, 2.25 tall, and we want half of this 1 inch. So 1/2 an inch, which you can see right here. All right, so then from here we're going to go ahead and click Done. And if we go to our isometric view, remember that's Shift 7 on your keyboard, or you can use the view cube to spin to this corner, whichever one you prefer. We've got our little rectangle, and if I rotate, you can see it's just two-dimensional, so it doesn't have any depth. So you're probably wondering how you're going to turn a rectangle into a cylinder, and that's using this revolve tool, and that's Shift W, or you can click on the little symbol in the top left here, right next to your extrude. So from here, we're just going to click on the face that we want to revolve. That's this one. Then it's going to ask us to select the revolve axis, so you'll have to click over here, and then we can revolve it around any of these sides of our rectangle. We want to revolve it around the one on the left that's going through the origin. And you'll notice when we do that, we do get a cylinder as a result. So let's break down what's happening here. We've got a couple different options for a revolve. Right now it's a full revolve, meaning it's doing a full revolution around that axis. If we go one direction, this might help you see it a little better. So starting with like 15 degrees, we can see we just have a little sliver of a cylinder. And as I increase the amount of degrees, you can see that that rectangle is being rotated kind of around that middle, which is really the left side of the rectangle. But as we do that, it's creating a three-dimensional shape, and that's a cylinder. So as we increase the amount of degrees all the way up to 360, and I can type that in, 360, it's going to close it up for a full cylinder, or I can just switch it back to the full option. Either one will do the trick, and we can click our green check to complete it. So we have our cylinder, nice and easy. A little bit easier maybe to do it the old way, but There is another shape I want to create. Now that's the half circle. This one should be also fairly easy to do with the revolve. Maybe even easier than the original way that we did this one, where we had to extrude a circle and then we cut the bottom half off with a rectangle. So I'm going to create a new tab. We're going to create a part studio, and that's going to be our half circle. So while that's loading, we need to think about the technique we're going to use here. And what I'm thinking is we create a rectangle that kind of goes flat, and then we can revolve it around this axis here. So that's going to be like the left side of our rectangle again. And we can revolve it kind of in this circular pattern, half of a circle, or 180 degrees. So let's hide our front and right. We said we were going to do a rectangle on the top view. So I'll do sketch, click on that top view, the top plane. I'll hide the top plane, and then we can go ahead and start on our sketch. So I'll orient the view cube to be looking at the top. We're going to create a corner rectangle. I'm just going to make it a nice rectangle shape. And then our dimensions for this one, it's going to be 1 inch tall, and then it's going to be half of 0.75. So you may not know that calculation right off the top of your head. So I'll show you a little trick you can use in OnShape. So we said it was 1 inch tall, and then it was going to be half of 0.75. So we should be able to do some math in here. So if we do 0.75 divided by 2, I'm using the backslash as the divide symbol, it should automatically update to calculate that number, which is 0.375. So that's kind of a nifty tool you can use if you don't want to do math, or you don't want to pull out a calculator. OnShape will do the work for you. So we've got our rectangle the way we want it. Let's finish our sketch, go to our isometric. So we can see we've got our flat rectangle, and that's kind of should be imitating this little section right here. And then as we revolve that, we should see a half circle emerge. So I'll click revolve, and then I'm going to click this rectangle since that's what we're going to revolve. Now you might be wondering why you can't click that edge. You need to click this first. So click where it says revolve axis, then you can click it, and right away it's going to default to the full revolve type. We want to update that to be just one direction, and I'll just kind of show you that you can drag that arrow, but it's usually not going to be super precise. You can see over on the left side here, it's like really close, 182. We're going to just type that in, 180. It'll auto update in the sketch area, and it looks good. We'll click the green check to make sure that's done, and we are good to go here. Looks like we did a pretty decent job. Just kidding, we didn't. This one, and this was my mistake as I was looking at this, it's not giving us a diameter, it's giving us a radius. So this will give me a chance to show you something else that's kind of neat about OnShape. So not the end of the world, we can fix this really easily. So our radius is 0.75, so we didn't need to divide it by 2. So what we can actually do is we can go back into our sketch. So all I did to go back into my sketch, I found it over on the left side and I double clicked it. And now we can actually update this dimension. Instead of 0.75 divided by 2, it's just going to be 0.75. Hit enter. And then when we hit the green check, I'm predicting it will update our revolve accordingly. And it looks like it did. Let's just kind of compare it to this one. It looks a lot better. Before it was not looking the same. It was looking much too deep for how big it was. So I can hit the redo to put that back in place. And it looks good. So I'm going to stop this video right here. Now you've seen the revolve tool a little bit, and I'm going to show you a couple other tools in the next video that will help you create this shape right here. So this is what we're going to work on in the next video. It looks a lot more complicated, maybe a little intimidating, but we will do it step by step together. So watch the next video for instructions on how to do this one. Thanks for watching. I will see you in the next video.